Hey, welcome into another edition of the GASOCAST. We are here. We're going to break down Houston this weekend. We got a great slate of teams. Without further ado, though, 21 days left until high school practice. We are inching forward to high school season. As always, I'm going to keep pushing my agenda with that one. So, moving into the news, signings and commitments, we have Wesley Yates just signed to Washington about 2 hours ago. Cody Stevens, Dallas Baptist University. Josh Akpovwa, Incarnate Word. Parker Hanna, McNeese State. Jaland, Lowe, Pittsburgh. And Kam Burton, Southeastern. Luckily, we're going to see some of these guys this weekend, and that'll be fun. Good for them. Congrats on the accomplishment. But let's jump right in, guys. We got favorite matchups. And Blue, I know you're really pumped to see Houston Christian, and then they're playing a Katy Cinco Ranch team who's young, has got some nice pieces. Tell us a little bit why you're excited for that one.
I think it's a little bit of what the opposites of each team and what they're going to bring. Neil King over at Cinco Ranch has his guys. They play hard. They play in somewhat of a system. He always utilizes his guys to the best of their abilities to get advantages out there on the court, whether it's to score around the basket, let a shooter shoot. And they always have a lot of skill guys. And then you look at Houston Christian, who's going to be led by Montana Wheeler, that we'll talk about later. But they are going to play fast pace. They're going to want to break that timeline and get right to it and get quick shots and a high percentage quick shots. But it's just a case of just two teams that are totally different when you look at them throughout the years.
Michael, you kind of talked about how Atascocita never lets you down. And they're in a matchup that you are looking forward to.
Yeah, because this time last year, Atascocita, I forget who they were playing, but they just did not start off very well. Got down by like 20 in our GASO Fall Classic. And then all of a sudden, hey, boom, 5 or 6 threes in a row. And they show that they're capable of doing that with anybody in the state if you fast forward all the way to the state tournament, where they had Duncan in some trouble. So I'm looking at them versus Killeen Ellison, another team that can run and gun with anybody in the state. I'm looking for fireworks early on in fall with two programs that have a lot to prove this season.
Yeah, Lyndon, we've got a Dallas South Oak Cliff team that is not really playing any Dallas events, and they're coming down to Houston to play a Fort Bend Elkins team that is athletic. What do you see in that game?
Yeah, glad we got to catch Sock this year because just off the top of my head, they have four big time prospects with Trey Jackson, Vari Jones, Xavier Cato, Keith Richard. Those kids really just get after you 94 feet, and I think that style of play, Elkins has a little bit similar makeup in terms of the guys they got. They got Jae'Coby Osborne, who's one of the best scorers in that kind of in-betweener role that I've seen out of Houston in this class. So that matchup, that contrast of styles a little bit with the ability that Sock has to score inside and out, and then Elkins' ability to get it from all over the place. I would like to see that matchup. I mean, I'm glad that we're getting to see it.
Yeah, surprise, surprise. I'm choosing the guard matchup. You've got Katy Seven Lakes with Nazir Price, AJ Bates, a ton of other notable players versus Dickinson with Kazim Boyd and new member Smurf Millender. And it's just going to be fireworks. You've got a lot of athleticism. You got a lot of tenacity in those backcourts. And it's going to be a game of wills. I can't wait to see kind of how they go at it. So let's move into players here. We'll start with the 2023s and we'll hit that senior class. But newly signed Jace Posey to TCU, Blue, you're pumped to see him.
Yeah, I mean he's a guy that improved throughout the spring and summer, and he's going to go to TCU, as you said. He's committed there, and so he's super athletic. He's starting to get his jump shot to fall a little bit more, and he's going to have to lead this Houston Strake Jesuit team, and they're also a very disciplined team. So I'm excited to kind of just get back into Houston and see everybody, and starting with Jace Posey and his ability of athleticism. That's really going to be the star of the show for him.
Yeah, Michael, you wrote down Shey Eberwein as one of the more skilled and talented players. What are you looking for to see?
Yeah, I saw him at TABC. I liked his moxie. I think the TABC for these seniors is the time where, okay, now is your time to figure out how to start leading as you head into your senior year. And I know at TABC they played against Dallas Kimball in a rough and tough game. Hurt his ankle a little bit, but kept coming back into the game there. I'm excited to see him take that another step of leading. What he talked about, he is very skilled, can score. I just think his overall attitude and his feel for the game are what's going to do wonders for the Woodlands this year.
And Lyndon, you got a pair of guys at Fort Bend Bush who really, athletically enforce their will on people.
Yeah, and speaking of TABC, that's where they really jumped off the page with me from an observation standpoint. I mean, I've seen them both at different AAU events throughout the summer, but when they put on that Fort Bend Bush jersey, something different happens. And with Kyrie Murray, he's been getting all kinds of attention with his ability to score inside and out, to be that athletic, bruising type guard who can get it on the inside. He can score at the rim or from the perimeter. And then when you have Ronyo, Obou is a nice complementary piece to him. Those two are really dangerous and can make some noise for Fort Bend Bush this year.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with this consistent theme. The last time I saw Noah Martin was at TABC. This guy, 6'6", can really shoot the ball, showed some ability off the bounce as well. I want to see how that development's coming along because he was one of my favorite players at TABC. Blue, the big man whisperer, Ryan Bolton at Houston Legacy. Lots of upside there.
Yeah, big body that really eats up the block there. And so I want to kind of just see him in the flow of the game to see how he's going to react. I know he's going to be a great rebounder. He's going to get his back to the basket and try to score, but he's also going to be that guy in the force in the middle of just grabbing rebounds and getting those putbacks. And I'm just kind of interested just really to kind of see that Houston Legacy team in general. And, he's going to be anchoring the middle for them.
Yeah, Lyndon, Takorian Lawson, we saw him at our last live event. Really made some noise.
Yeah, just as a real versatile two-way player, was excellent for Texas Takeover at our Keller GASO, the summer finale. And just one of those guys who you put the ball in his hands, you get him with that first step going downhill, and he's going to go put somebody in the rim, go finish through contact. Really looking forward to seeing him this weekend.
Yeah, I'll jump in here. Malachi Cunningham is a guy I saw on film. We didn't get to really see Kuz Elite this summer, so we had to make our film rounds and make sure that we got some eyes. And Malachi jumped off the page. He's this foreign player. He's from Australia, 6'6", 6'7", can handle the ball. I saw him come off a pick and roll, and the guy went under and he buried a shot. And then he comes off it, makes a great decision, throws a backside corner pass, and I was like, wow, that's a lot of skill and a lot of size. So I'm really interested to see him in person. And then Michael, Corey Hadnot, man, that guy's a winner.
Yeah, based on everybody's face when you said his name, that's exactly. It's just, I don't know, just a prospect that I like to root for. Plays the game the right way, carries it the right way. 3-level score. I love guys that can get their spots, hit the mid range, explosive, finished over the rim, put on a show at our GASO grassroots event this summer. Already's committed. Less pressure on him now, and I'm excited for him. I think he's going to be one of the best players, statistics-wise, in the whole region.
Yeah, I'm excited to see Cy Creek play Houston Christian as well. That's kind of a sneaky, really, really talented matchup. Blue, we're going to move into 24s, and we're going to start with you, the aforementioned Jae'Coby Osborne, super athletic wing.
Yep. Lyndon touched on him a few segments ago, and what you have to like about him is his versatility. He can go down low and beat you with his quick twitch around the basket. Then he'll step out and knock down some threes. This kid is going to go up and down the floor very quickly, play on both ends, and he is exciting to watch with Elkins because they play so hard, they play fast, and they're going to pressure you 94 feet. He's a perfect guy for this system.
Michael, Daylon Porter, dude just gets stuff done. You saw him last year at the Cy tournament, and he was awesome.
Saw him in regionals versus Duncanville as well. When you look at that Cy Falls team, Josiah McWright's no longer there, but JoJo Tuckler is. So who's going to kind of be that guard? And you look at Dylan Porter, 6'4", 6'5", strong frame, attacks, gets downhill, and he's really going to benefit from the schedule and the teams that Cy Falls played last year. As a sophomore, he takes that jump to being a junior. I think he has a lot of quality minutes under his belt to be an instant impact player for that Cy Falls team.
Yeah, and he's just a really efficient producer. He never takes bad shots. He gets offensive rebounds, scores around there, puts the ball in transition.
A a lot of no nonsense buckets. If the ball's there, he puts it right back in. He might not be the most flashy player, but if he has a step to go by, he's putting his shoulder down and getting right to the rim. No questions about it.
Lyndon, Kazim Boyd, I remember you and I 2 years ago in San Antonio when he was playing with the Texas boys, and they were in this overtime game. He scored about 8 points, and that was before we were doing the Elam ending in overtime, and he was a next gen then, and Kazim Boyd has really answered the bell, had a really big summer with the Houston Defenders. Tell us a little bit more.
Yeah, I was having to go back through the files to think, this kid who I've seen when he was a freshman, he's all grown up and taken the reins for this Dickinson team. Somebody who he's a microwave scorer. He's got that elite, just that hesitation, change of pace, quickness, where he can beat you in the open court. He makes the right play going to the rim, and he can shoot it from deep. This kid is really turned himself into a prospect with Dickinson.
Really interesting to see how him and Smurf are going to kind of coexist and play together. It's going to be cool to have them off ball, on ball, and then they're going to get after you. That's going to be a really exciting team to watch. I'm going to jump in here. Aaron Perez, another film special. This guy's 6'5", from Klein Kane. He can shoot it. He picked up an offer, I believe, from Sam Houston State, and kind of popped off the screen, just the size and shooting ability. It's another guy that I'm really excited to see in person. But now let's move into our favorite segment. We got the next gens. Blue, one of our favorites at the Houston GASO was Montana Wheeler. I remember we were sitting over there on court 4 watching this dude just get wherever he wanted, make great decisions. And we were like, yeah, he's a good one.
He's one of those prospects that makes a lot of noise, but nobody's out there talking about him. I'm excited to see him because he's the guy that is with the ball in his hands. He gets from point A to point B very quickly, and then he cuts, and now he's at point C. And he's very hard to guard. You can't keep him in front of you, and if he gets a full set of steam going forward in the open court, you're going to lose him. He's a great passer in the open court and in the half court setting. Oh, and by the way, he can score it too. And he's fearless when he goes to the basket. There's a lot to like about him. I want to see where his improvements have been made as we go along here this weekend. But he's going to have his chance to play 2 really good opponents in Cinco Ranch, and then turn around and have to play Side Creek.
Yep. Michael, one of our favorite guards from the younger Houston Hoops groups, Nazir Price. He really he played up this last summer and still made huge impacts. Tell us a little bit more about him.
Yeah, when you're looking at projecting in a few years who's going to be the names to be around, it's hard not to have this guy at the top of your list. A long guard, 2026, just is in high school now, has a mature game, has feel that most seniors don't even pick up until the second round of district. That's what type of feel this kid has. And when you're looking at what he's already done this year, Forever Young Films was at the Super 16. And when you have a thumbnail of a 2026 Nazir Price over here, and then a 2023 top 30 player in the country, Wesley Yates over here, on the same thumbnail, you can tell he's making some noise. So I'm excited to see what he's going to do at our GASO Fall Classic and some big-time events. But yeah, he just looks like a veteran out there, the way he plays. And it benefits from, having another guy like AJ Bates that has that kind of mature game and feel as well.
Absolutely. Lyndon, a sneakier prospect. I haven't heard this name thrown out there very much, but we kind of got a glimpse of him at TABC in some previous events. But Austin Brown Lufkin, I don't want to steal your thunder here. Tell us, break it in with that guy and tell us a little bit about him.
Yeah, I'm always the guy who's going to go off the beaten path to go find a prospect in these not powerhouse communities. When you're at Houston and DFW and San Antonio, the prospects are easy to find, but I'm going to go scout them out of Lufkin, Austin Brown at 2026. The kid's already 6'6", and he's a shooter. What else do I need to say at this point? But because at TABC, he was knocking down shots, playing a really mature role with a group of guys who they don't have everybody right now because of football, but when that football contingent comes in and Lufkin has their whole squad with them, they can make some noise with the guys like Orion Hart and Elijah Moody. But Austin Brown this weekend, check him out. He's going to be a name to keep an eye on as we move forward. The 2026 class starts to take shape.
I'm going to round us out here with Jakai Cantave out of Atascocita, 2026. Another guy that just popped at TABC. And then you got the whole Atascocita thing with Coach Martinez. And just how those guards defend and do all the things that you want to. But Jakai does some things that off script that are just special for a 2026. He's got a great burst. He finishes really strong. And Michael, you kind of mentioned it earlier. A lot of these 26s that we're mentioning have this feel that a lot of guys can never really attain. And Jakai's that way. And Jakai's going to be the next Atascocita, great. And when by the time he's a senior, it's going to be a really special group there. But I mean, we're gassed up. We're ready for Houston. We got the prospect guides that we're building out. We are so ready and excited to go down there and make sure and get our eyes on all the talent that we can. Make sure you're following us. We're going to be pumping out content all weekend long. And then follow us on our personal Twitters. At GASO Mass. We got at GASO Blue, at iFilm Hoopers, at GASO Lyndon, and then obviously our main page at Texas Hoops GASO. Thank you for tuning into this edition, and we'll see you next week.